All right, cool. So let's take a look at slices, maps, and then new and make, and then also struct. And these are really like your cool and your core tools for working with data. So slice is a list. So give me an example of a list, just in life, right? Give me an example of a list.
To-do list.
To-do list, baby.
Grocery list.
Grocery list, right? It's just like, grocery list and to-do list, that's going to be a list of what type. What type will the variables that's stored in that be? Yeah, so they'll be strings, right? So lottery numbers, that's going to be a list of ints, right? So that's a slice. And we'll see how to create that briefly. It just looks like this. There's a slice of strings, right? So you just do the little empty brackets. And so brackets are the square ones. Braces or curly braces are the mustache-looking ones, the curly-looking ones. And these are parentheses. So you get empty brackets and string. And sometimes I say the wrong word, so if you ever hear me say the wrong words, just say, wrong word. So that's a slice. A map is an unordered list of key value pairs, okay? And so a map is an unordered list of key value pairs. So we're mapping a key to a value. What's like a really common old school way of, sometimes they're also called dictionaries. Why are they also called dictionaries? Because that's pretty much like key value, right? A word and the definition. You want to know the definition? You got to know the word, that's the key, and then you can look up and see the definition. So key value. And then we have a struct. And then a struct, we just kind of saw that as a collection of fields. And data structure, just a data structure for grouping a whole bunch of fields together. These are sometimes called composite types because you're composing. You're taking different types, built-in primitive types, and you're composing some other type, right? It's a collection of those types. It's composition. You're bringing them together. So in a struct, that's really obvious, right? Like I have, a collection of strings, ints, floats, 64s to keep track of all this information about a user, right? A bunch of different fields. Some of these are also reference types. I'm trying to think if they're all reference types. I don't know if a struct is. So they reference other data structures. Like a slice is built on top of an array. A slice is built on top of an array. So we'll see what that means here. So we've looked at Boolean types, numeric types, and string types. And now we're going to look at slices, structs, and maps. And so a slice is a list. And here's an example of a list. Slice of strings. And you could do this thing where, oh my gosh, we did slicing and index access. Is that familiar? No. Okay, cool. So here I'm printing out my slice on line 8. And you can see what that looks like. Just print it out right there. And then right here I am slicing my slice. What the heck? Slicing my slice. And so that's giving me from 0, 1, 2. It gives me C. 3 is G. And it doesn't give me the last one, 4. And the reason it doesn't give you the last one is because the read head is basically right at the beginning of this entry. Right? So when I go 0, 1, 2, and then start reading, gives me C, gives me G, that's 3, and then here's 4, it stops. So it doesn't get to reading M. Right? It gets to like the beginning of the 4 position. So that's one way you can think about it. So that's slicing a slice. And you can index access a slice. So my slice 2, 0, 1, 2 will give me C. And then I can also do an index access on a string, which just will give me the rune or the int32 value, which for 0, 1, 2, capital S, is 83. Interesting stuff. Slice types, making a slice, slicing a slice, making a slice. I thought we had an interesting example there. So, before we learn more about slices, let's all take a moment and just create a slice of your friends' names. A slice of your friends' names, and then just print the slice out. And so printing it out, you don't need to range over it. If you want to range over it or loop over it, you can, but just print it out with format print line. So a slice of your friends' names, how would you do that?